He's at Ryan Johnson Mo on Twitter. Ryan, good Monday morning. Happy Election Day Eve. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Tim. Thank you for having me all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ryan, I've been promising people all morning you'd give us a rundown of the Missouri-centric items. We've been talking, of course, a lot about where things stand with the presidential election. Donald Trump absolutely appears to be surging. Joe Biden absolutely appears to be fading. Will it be enough either way? Maybe you and I will circle back on that in a second. But I want to get to the Missouri stuff because we haven't touched on as much kind of the state of the races. Ryan, just give us a basic rundown. I know we have governor at the top of the ticket, and how's that governor's race shaping up, Ryan, and then what follows after that?
Well, yeah, first and foremost, I would say that Missouri, the Morning Consult, which is a D.C.-based outfit, has Trump winning Missouri by 9 points. So they've got him in a new poll just released this morning, 52% to 43%. And so if you recall, last time he won by 20 points. I don't know if that's correct, if he's going to win by 9 or 10, but Trump will and should win Missouri pretty handily. Mm-hmm. Governor Parson, I've seen polls with him leading anywhere from 6 points to as much as 8 points. I would imagine that both of these men, both Governor Mike Parson and Donald Trump, will win Missouri, and then on down the ballot. Missouri will retain its red state status after tomorrow night. And that's a good news for many Missourians.
Yeah, and then Ryan, below governor, I think we have with governor, there's 5 of our 6 statewides on the ballot, right? So governor, so then there's 4 other races. Ryan, I haven't seen any indication to believe, and all the candidates have worked hard, right? The lieutenant governor, Kehoe, Attorney General Schmidt, Secretary of State Ashcroft, Treasurer Fitzpatrick. They've all taken this seriously. They've been on a bus tour for the last couple of weeks. I saw them up in the great county of St. Charles this weekend with Sarah Sanders. The governor was, Saturday morning, St. Charles, chilly, 10 a.m., and there was a huge crowd, and they were off to Hannibal, I think, afterwards. So, but Ryan, they've been taking it very seriously. They've all raised lots of money and spent it to get the message out. That's what we have to do as Republicans because we don't get free liberal media plugs. The other 4 statewide offices appear to be in the Republican column, and they will remain so. Don't you believe?
Yes, sir, I do. But and to your point, I mean, Mike has been working exceptionally hard. I saw him in Cass County. He was there at the PFI Western store in Springfield just the other day with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the former White House spokesperson and press secretary. Huge crowd, hundreds of people gathered. A lot of energy down in Greene County and in Springfield to reelect someone that they know. Mike Parson is from Bolivar, not too very far away from Springfield. And Southwest Missouri is going to come home for Mike Parson tomorrow and tomorrow evening. So with that, you're going to have Mike Kehoe, obviously the lieutenant governor, on the ballot. Probably less well known than the governor, but someone who's been working very hard, who's been in Missouri politics for a very long time. I don't know that anybody, to include me, I had to actually look up who his opponent's name was. A Democratic candidate named Alyssa Kennedy. I don't think anybody's even heard of this person. Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe should be just fine. You'll get the opportunity on your Greene County ballot to vote for Secretary of State. So John R. Ashcroft or Jay Ashcroft. So John Jr. essentially. Jay has done a remarkable job as Secretary of State. He hasn't committed any egregious political mistakes or anything like that. He's a good, hardworking person, much in the vein of his father. He's been out working hard. I saw him in Cass County. I think he went to every single stop along the way with the Mike Works tour and helping to talk to the crowd and get the crowds fired up as Mike Parson made the case for his reelect to the folks. Now, interestingly, though, his opponent is a young professional named Yinka Folletti. And his name has been tossed around in Democratic circles as a potential challenger for Roy Blunt or someone like his candidacy. A young professional, former soldier, obviously very left of center, but still a good bio, someone in the kind of the Barack Obama vein, that would be a kind of a fresh-faced challenger rather than the same old candidate that the Democrats continue to seem to roll out. And he's raised some money, too. He's raised just shy of about $900,000 this election cycle. So, if he weren't running against, Ashcroft in the state of Missouri, and in a state like Missouri, he might be a formidable candidate somewhere else. But
Ryan,
I think the Democrats might move in that direction in the future.
Hey, Ryan, this is Jason. I've actually pointed this out to Tim a couple of times that when I've covered some of Nicole Galloway's rallies, they have him there. And they're bringing him out, and he's introducing her, and he's taking time to speak to the crowd, and they're kind of pushing him at the rallies of other candidates.
Yeah, I think he's being groomed. I think that's a good point. I think he's being groomed for something bigger and something in the future. And who knows, we could see him as a potential challenger to Roy Blunt in 2022.
Ryan, the issues that are going to be at the ballot box, and a lot of people, Ryan, have already voted. Like, we're approaching 90 million or more Americans who will have voted before tomorrow, which is really staggering. And the question is, are we going to have greater turnout, or will have everybody already voted or not? But Ryan, the choice could not be clearer, right? With the way these candidates are campaigning, the style in which they're campaigning is incredibly stark and different. The messages that they're talking about, the things that they're exhorting Americans to consider when they go to the polls, seem to be breaking down over terrifying everyone about a virus that has been amongst us now for well over 9, approaching 10 months, which we understand. We're still trying to get a full handle on it, but people now know how to cope with it at least. It has a survival rate of well over 99%, versus the future of America, right? I mean, we're going to conquer this virus at some point. We're going to get full, as much as we have control over influenza every year, probably at the very least, if not more, because we're trying to get vaccines and things. Ryan, what do you think ultimately carries the day? The fear-mongering message of potential lockdowns and crashing the economy further, or people wanting to go to the polls, anger that's going to drive people, and this Trump derangement syndrome, or is American optimism, American exceptionalism, wanting America to have a brighter, more prosperous future of freedom and opportunity for all? What do you think carries the day ultimately in this, what's been a very bizarre, untraditional election year?
Well, that's right, Tim. I mean, it's a stark contrast between the two visions. And no matter where you fall on the conservative spectrum within the realm of the Republican Party, or just, your average Trump supporter, the differences are stark. The other side represents not just socialism, but outright communism. And I can't believe I'm actually saying that on air. And why did I say that? Joe Biden over the weekend was talking about taxing capital gains, right, at a rate of 40%. Now, yours and my friend Grover Norquist from Americans for Tax Reform pointed out on Twitter that communist China only takes 20. Joe Biden wants 40%. Think about that. They're the party of lockdowns. Great Britain is locking down again and restricting freedom of movement, restricting travel, just outright forcing citizens to stay in their own homes, padlocking citizens in their own home, all under the idea of it's for their own good. New Zealand, all the Western world is responding in similar fashion, and it's frightening, and it's quite literally freedom versus socialism, and dare I say, perhaps even communism. And the thing about socialism is you only get to vote for it once. They're sitting here complaining that Donald Trump might not accept the results of the election. That's not the case at all. Donald Trump will accept the results of the election, whatever they may be, as long as it was a free and fair election.
Absolutely. Well stated. Ryan, we unfortunately are out of time. We got to roll, but you and I could have talked probably for another half an hour about this philosophical discussion. The choice could not be more clear as you lay out. Ryan, happy election day. Good luck to you, my friend. You're on the ballot tomorrow. I think you're going to bring home a sweeping victory in Cass County, and the folks will be well served. Ryan Johnson, we'll talk to you again next week, unpack everything that happened. He's at Ryan Johnson Mo. Ryan, thanks again for joining us. Have a great day.
Thanks, Tim.